Hey, welcome back to Professional Development, the New York City Teacher Podcast. I'm Noah, I'm your host, and today's episode I'm pretty excited about. It's the beginning of a series that I'm going to do exploring a genre of teaching book. That genre is the Teach Like a Blank manual. You've probably heard of at least one of these, maybe two, maybe three. There are a lot of them. There are a lot of these books, and it's really worth exploring because they sell quite well and people use them. People bring them to school. People refer other teachers to them. So it is definitely worth getting into what they are all about. But before we do that, it's worth mentioning that it's been a little while since the last episode, and I would like to apologize for that. The past 2 weeks really, it's been one of those situations where instead of wrapping up at school and coming home to have a cup of coffee and trade my work tie for my podcasting cardigan, that's not a thing. I don't actually have a podcasting cardigan, but I really like the idea of like sitting down in an entryway like Mr. Rogers and talking to a studio audience and the people at home. It doesn't happen, but it's a nice image, right? But anyway, instead of doing that, I've been doing the thing where you get home and you stare at a wall for a few hours. You doom scroll through social media for a little bit, and then you go to bed, and then you wake up and you do the whole thing over again. But all of that said, I'm going to make up for the lost time as best I can with a few extra episodes over the next couple of weeks, and I think you're going to really enjoy them. I have a great new guest and a dear friend of mine coming on to the show to talk about teacher films. You're going to like him a lot. I already can tell. It's sort of like when you have two friends who you know are going to get along really well together and you can't wait to introduce them. That's how I'm feeling right now. But anyway, I'm also going to do a second part of the podcasting in the classroom episode, which I think you're going to enjoy. And I also owe you a couple episodes on the recent policy decisions at the DOE and also the results of the UFT election. And it's maybe a bit late for that, but rest assured that these things are coming your way and they're going to be good and you're going to enjoy them. For now, though, let's get back to the Teach Like a Blank manual. What am I talking about here? The first and best known Teach Like a Blank book is Teach Like a Champion by Doug Lemov. This is the foundational text of the whole genre, with each book that follows riding the coattails of name recognition at the very least, and perhaps also some of the philosophical and pedagogical underpinnings as well, although that is fraught territory, as we shall soon discuss. Back to Doug Lemov. Lemov is a former teacher, a principal, and a charter school founder. His first teacher manual came out in 2010 and is supposedly a collection of strategies that Lemov observed in teachers all over the place who had two things in common. One, they worked with impoverished children, and two, they got great results in spite of their first commonality of, working with impoverished children. These strategies are all related to classroom management, but more on that later. Lemov slapped clever or not so clever names on these strategies and put them in a book with an accompanying DVD illustrating the strategies. And he issued it basically directly to the bestseller list. The book's release coincided with an article by Elizabeth Green, published in the New York Times Magazine, entitled Building a Better Teacher. The article is quite long, but it is essentially an untempered celebration of Lemov's work. The following are a few quotations I have lifted from that article.
To hear the rest of this episode, along with the entire back catalogue of Patreon exclusive episodes, join us at patreon.com/professionaldevelopment.